Welcome in. We're already on to week 2, ladies and germs. Ooh, week 1. Had me nervous. Had me a little nervous. To be honest, I'm not the biggest truther on McCarthy. So I was nervous Monday night. And then after 3 quarters, I was like, oh, man. I just blew my first rounder on some just I was not impressed. I was not too happy until quarter 4. I'm still like there's a little bit of me that's nervous, but at least Chicago's secondary is pretty good. So I'm trying not to overreact. Um, but I was a little nervous. Quarter 4 definitely had me feeling better. JJ's the guy. Jettas baby. Let's go. Oh, all right. Week 1 in the books. I know this is late. We're already into week 2. We're already a game into week 2. I'm a little late. So be it. Better late than never. That's all right. Okay. We're going to go over I'm going to revisit some value picks. Probably last time I go over draft. After this, we're looking at trades. We're looking at waiver wire pickups. Already some moves. Some moves I like, some moves I don't like. But we're going to go over some value picks on the drafts. I'm going to go over who I was wrong on and who I was right on. We're going to go over some overreactions. I think I only have one, but maybe I can come up with one. Spur of the moment. We'll see. Power rankings, of course. I'm going to do it a little different. And then I'm going to predict who I think is going to win week 2. But before I do that, I got to introduce the players of 2025. Eddie had all the right names, but none of the right numbers. A roster that looked dangerous until kickoff. Nate, once feared the year prior, a shadow of former glory, smacked back to reality. Eric spent the postseason in the most familiar places, the couch watching. Paul never stood a chance. Injuries piled higher than the draft day hopes, and the season was over before it began. Whitney, skill, half luck, all somehow making playoffs only for an exit. Dre the bully stormed into the playoffs like the Lions and left like the Lions, choking away the sure thing. BJ the rookie, wide-eyed, unprepared, learning what real fantasy football feels like. Jason, well, we know Jason's name. Austin marched all the way to the championship, only to get spanked when it mattered most. So close, yet so far away. Most importantly, the champ, the survivor, name etched in league history as a legend until the crown is taken away. This is fantasy football. All right. Okay. You can't hear all of it. Jason, for Jason's, I said Jason. Well, you know his nickname, Gason. And then, not that there's anything wrong with that, Jason. It's okay. And then, look who's making an appearance today. Ho. Oof. Here, we'll have you sit comfortably over here where I can see you. Anyway, and then on Austin's, I've got there is some audio where the guys are just kind of bummed. That was a clip from the Super Bowl where the Chiefs got spanked, so I felt like it was fitting. Anyway, diving in. I'm gonna try not to make this too long. I don't like making hour long. I could talk forever, as you guys can see, but I don't like to make them too long. So I'm gonna try to kind of bring it down a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna dive into value picks. Yeah, let me present. Oh, I'm looking at something. week 2 matchups here. We'll go up here. We'll go back to week 1 so people can look at the scoreboard. Here, we're going to get both of those in. We can get the standings and that. Okay, but going over here, looking back at the draft. Looking through, I think I've already talked about these, but I'm pretty excited. I'm gonna hype myself up. Yes, BJ, this is my podcast, so I'm gonna hype myself up. If you want to hype yourself up, you make your own podcast. Okay, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked about my ETN. I honestly did not like my ETN pick, but ETN looked pretty good. But it's against the Carolina Panthers, so I'm not holding my breath too much. But I'm pretty stoked about that. As we saw 2 years ago, Nate, as you saw on your team, ETN can be a beast. But I think it kind of depends on volume. I don't know what happened to him last year. Maybe he was battling an injury that everybody battles and plays with injuries, but maybe he's just had one that just affected him more than usual. And then Judkins, pretty excited about that one. Pretty excited about that rookie talent. I think it's going to take a couple games. He's playing tomorrow, so I'm pretty excited to watch that. But in Henderson, I heard. Okay, I'm throwing this one in. I'm trying to find the right word here. I'm just roster baiting, I guess. Real time roster bait. You guys can see it. But Henderson, I'm pretty excited he's going to get ramp up in volume is what I saw a report on. But it's also on X. I don't know if it's fake news or not. That's my best Trump impersonation. But anyway, it's not all about me as much as I would like for it to be. And I did win last year. It's not all about me. So, other picks. I like the Breece Hall pick. Austin, love the Breece Hall pick. Breece Hall, 2 years ago, running back number 3. And that offense looks good. Against the Steelers, who traditionally are a good defense. So, I don't know if they just had an off week. They were away, but that's a pretty good pick, I would say. Pretty good looking offense. So Breece Hall, that was, I think, revisiting. That's a good pick. But he followed up with Ken Walker, who did not look good. But I do like the Breece Hall pick. Ricky Pearsall also looks like the guy. It's kind of tough now because there's no Purdy, although there's also no Kittle. So that could be a really big pick for you there, Austin. So I think you had a couple really good picks. I think I've already talked about these a little bit. Another one I really liked. I talked about it, but after, I don't remember if I mentioned it last episode, but Jaylen Warren, guy looks like him. The last starting running back. I mean, I was picking up backups. Everybody was picking up backups when Jaylen Warren was there. So Whitney, hats off to you. I do like the Jalen Reed pick too, and I think if he would have stayed healthy, I think he's the guy. He is the guy, but he just broke his collarbone, so that kind of was crappy. I didn't like how Whitney dropped him, but hey, you win some, you lose some. Obviously, that was the right choice to make because he broke his collarbone, but I don't think Whitney knew that. I don't think Whitney can predict the future that well. She dropped him before the broken collarbone. Words are hard. So that's why I picked him up, because I was like, oh man, this guy could be the one. And I'll take a flyer off that. But overall, I would say a couple of the best picks was obviously Bill Krosky, also known as William Jacory Krosky Merritt. I don't know his name, but the Washington Commanders running back. Now he's a starter. I mean, Eckler came in. He's an old guy. You knew at some point he was going to be his job was going to get taken over. but that's, I think, one of the best picks. Also, Warren, Tyler Warren, the tight end for the Indianapolis Colts. I think that's also going to be a very good pickup. Um, yeah, there are some people that just know what positions to take. I find myself personally, I'm usually able to pick up and find good running backs. I feel like I've got the track record. I picked up in my very first year. I picked up Todd Gurley in the first round. I picked up Todd Gurley before he was Todd Gurley. I've also picked up Melvin Gordon, who like carried me to championship. I also had Jonathan Taylor the year he went off. Like, I feel like I picked good running backs. And Dre has proven now 2 years in a row he knows how to pick rookie tight ends. I mean, this is early. This is definitely an overreaction. This is definitely early. And disclaimer to everybody: there's no need to freak out. It's just week one. It's after week one. There's so many questions. Like, I don't think the Detroit Lions are that bad. I think the Packers' defense is that legit. But just disclaimer: don't overreact after week one. It's okay. Um, one a value pick I'm gonna throw in there, and I was just looking at because I've kind of covered every position besides quarterback. Now, quarterback, there's a reason I wait. I always wait because I feel like I can at least find a top 10 quarterback really late. And this year I thought it was Dak Prescott. I still think there's a possibility. But the reason why I wait is because quarterback 10 and quarterback, let's say 3 or 4, there's not too much of a discrepancy in points versus like let's say running back 4 and running back 20 or something like that. And you can only start one quarterback. So people usually are not picking 2 quarterbacks early. So usually I try to wait. I wait to see like make sure there's majority of quarterbacks taken, like everybody's taking their quarterback. And I'll wait a little bit longer and then try to pick before people get their second quarterback. With that all being said, I'm kind of this is why my podcasts are longer than I usually want. With that being said, BJ with a Justin Herbert in the very last round, that's looking like a nice pick. And I mean, that's looking like a kind of a secretly good. That's a sneaky good pick. And I see that you're starting him over Mahomes. I think that's a right pick. Obviously, with Mahomes having some injuries and there's wide receiver core, I think that's a good pick. But BJ, hats off to you. I think that's. I was gonna give Tyler Warren / Bill Krosky the best pick, but right now, after week one, overreaction, best pick BJ, Justin Herbert, and if anybody needed it, it's you, BJ. I mean, you've already given up. I mean, your first rounder's already injured. Your round 4 player has retired. He just rolled up to training camp and was like, "Nope, I can't keep up with these young cats. I'm out." And then you've got Cooper Kupp, who got 1 catch. You drafted a guy that's on the IR. And you drafted a guy that's suspended for 6 weeks. But I gotta say, those other, and I'm just diving right in. Overreaction after week 1. BJ's good at fantasy football. I said it. BJ is good at fantasy football. BJ is like he's a Rain Man. Rain Man. I'm gonna have to come up with some kind of nickname. BJ the Rain Man. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But you're like a Rain Man. Like, okay, if only you could. Now, I think the most frustrating part when I look at your draft is like, if you could have just hit on some of those early rounders, let's say, okay, let's get rid of Amari Cooper there. Let's put James Cook, Alvin Kamara in place. That's a scary team. Even with reaching at Brock Bowers around one, I think Brock Bowers would have came back to you. I think if anybody, I think Nate and I were looking at an early tight end, but I think he could have came back to you. Anyway, if you could have just hit on some of these early, and McLaurin does not look like the one. Now we'll see. This is early. This is overreaction week 1. BJ is good at fantasy football. The guy is 1-0 and already projected. Let's look over here. Already projected at. He's already got 43 points. And I mean, you got Brock Bowers. You got the number 1 guy. Most people will be like, screw it. I'm waiting to hear to see if this guy is going to play week 2. Let's see some practice reports before we just rush in Tucker Kraft in a Thursday night football. BJ's like, fuck it. We're going to go Tucker Kraft. And he goes off for over 20 points. 124 yards. 1 touchdown. 6 recording catches. BJ's a genius. He's the Rain Man. And then he's got the stability of Josh Jacobs. That looks like a good team. And that looks like a team that their defense is stout, which means they're going to run the ball. And these are 2 good defenses. Like Detroit, when healthy, has a good defense. The Commanders, defensive-minded head coach. Here, we don't need to look at the draft anymore. Those are 2 tough defenses. I mean, when you get down here, BJ's looking golden. And then he picks up Charbonnet when everyone's like, oh, Ken Walker's the guy. Ken Walker's the guy. And he still could be, but it did not look like it after week 1. Week 1, Charbonnet looked like the guy. Ken Walker looked like the backup. He looked like a rookie backup. So, we've got a guy that reached in round 1, whiffed in round 4. And in my eyes, I think BJ at the end of this week is 2-0 and Mr. Every other year starts off 0-2. Now I think that's kind of a disrespectful projection. Now, and this is overreaction week 2. This is overreaction Saturday. Let's just completely knock the wheels off and overreact. I do like this pickup. I like this pickup of Hollywood Brown. I mean, he's the only wide receiver. When he plays, he's good. It's just he has to be out there. They've got no one else to throw it to besides their tight end for the New Orleans Saints. And they're going against San Francisco, who their quarterback is injured, so there's a possibility Mac Jones doesn't just come in. And plus, they're missing all their offense. Like, Christian McCaffrey has siphoned out all the health of the rest of their offensive players. So now they might be just 3 and out. I don't think so, but it's a possibility. And I'm week 1 after week 1. We can. I don't think we need to go over week 1 too much. But week 1, the first 3 weeks, the Bengals always start off slow. Isn't that right, Eric? They always start off slow. So Jamar Chase, I mean, he's a 101. He's worth the 101 in my eyes still, even after a couple dud performances. But they could still be slow. They had 7 offensive yards in the second half against the Cleveland Browns. I think there's a possibility that I said it. I'll say it again. Brian ends this week 2-0. Austin, Mr. Every Other Year, is 0-2 after this week. We'll see. But I know Austin's over there shaking in his boots. BJ, surprise, surprise. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. Cap off to you. I mean, I was actually looking forward. I think it's week 4 I play you. Yeah, I was looking forward to that. Oh, no. Maybe it's week 5. Yeah, week 5. I was like, shit. Easy, bye week. I'm a little nervous now. But it's Overreaction Saturday, so we'll see. All right. Last week. We should dive into last week. We should. I didn't go over last week. Like I said, I did go over it a little bit. Whew. Poor Austin. 1.2 points. That's rough. That's 12 yards. That's rough. It's one of those. It's one play away, and that's fantasy. Like this is where, like, if I'm Whitney, I'm like, shit, that was a good week. It's just the outcome didn't happen. Like, I'm happy because I'm 1-0, but I'm also not happy. I'm not happy with that score. That makes me a little nervous. I don't like that. I'd like that for that score to be a little bit higher. But I know my quarterback also did not produce. My running backs, I think I'm trying to get the feel of that, so I'm not too worried. But where I was right, Whitney. Last week I had Whitney as the number 2 in my power rankings. I think I was right. I think I hit that. I think I also had Jason at 9. I think I hit that too. Jason with the second lowest score. Yeah, by a little bit, but still second lowest score. I had him number 9 on my power rankings. Where I was wrong, Nate's team. Oof. You know, we are going to go back to that other. Nate's team. When we revisit, I like the first 2. I've liked the first 3 picks, but now you got George Kittle out. You got Tyreek. You know, we don't need to keep going to that. We're just going to go into your team. Denver fell on their face. Miami looks like they're falling apart after week 1. Talk about an overreaction. That whole team looks like it's just falling apart. Calvin Ridley looked like he had a rookie quarterback. So that's kind of scary. That's a slow start. I like the 2 running backs. I think they're going to be consistent. There's nowhere to sweat there. But George Kittle, he's injured already. He's had injury history. But the guy usually plays. But that's tough. 4 to 5 weeks out. Now you got Njoku. But I'm a little worried about Njoku. That rookie tight end, Fannin Jr., he was in on, I think, more plays than Njoku. So that's a little worrisome if I'm the Njoku owner. But I think you're safe as long as Flacco is still starting. I think if one of the other rookie QBs goes in, you get rid of that guy. Out. He's out. And then Ted McMillan. Rookie wide receivers usually take a little bit of time to develop. They got to let the game come to them a little bit. And that offense did not look good. Maybe they should bench Bryce Young at week 1 every year and then just start him week 2, because he did not look good. That whole offense did not look good. That was also a weird game, though. I think that was the game where they had the delay. So I wouldn't overreact. I would not overreact on this Nate. But maybe I would make a few moves. Ray Davis, actually. Oh, no. I heard there was a report of James Cook had a hammy injury, but I think he actually was practicing in full, so I wouldn't worry about that. I would worry about a possible, I don't know. These are things to monitor. Bo Nix, sophomore slump. Tyreek Hill, that Miami offense, the whole team looked like shit. Calvin Ridley, again, rookie QB. I think I would just wait on that. Jameer Gibb, that offense did not look good. I think you're fine, but this team honestly worries me a little bit. But at the same time, let's not overreact. Let's not make any bold moves too early. The other one I was wrong on, Paul, the point leader himself, Paul. Yes and no. I do feel like I was wrong in You had the most points, and that's. Did you start C.J. Stroud last week? Oh no, Brock Purdy. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. 49ers. Ew. Oh, that's not the prettiest start, but I wouldn't worry too much. I think if this team stays healthy, this is a scary team, and I think I kind of valued injuries too much. I think I was looking at the long term. I think for the short term, for the long term, yeah, I still think, and I think we've already kind of saw it. We've already seen it. Austin Eckler, injured. Who's your other running back? I'll be honest, Paul, I had you at the number one power ranking, and then I came in and I looked. You've got some crazy good wide receivers. Like, you have Marvin Harrison Jr. and Emeka Egbuka, who looks like the new one, on your bench. Both of those guys, I bet in any league, most people would die to have those guys on there, at least flex. But one thing, Paul, what you could do, this guy's out. Throw him on your IR, go pick up some waiver wire picks. You got some, there are going to be some people. Tootin, go pick up Tootin. I would pick him up, but I don't have space. But he's a good backup for ETN, who has had an injury history. Throw those guys on your IR. I'm telling everybody, like, utilize your IR. There is, I believe, jeez, I am going to go over it. Son of a gun. I'm going to go to an hour. I believe there is power in numbers. There's more probability. If that's a small probability, it's still better probability. It's like you can't win the lottery unless you go buy a ticket. Go throw these guys on your IR and go pick up some late waiver wires. Jaden Blue, their talent will outweigh experience at some point in the season. Two guys off the top of my head, Tootin, Jaden Blue. Those are two guys. Go pick them up. See what happens this week. You really think Javonte Williams is the solution at the Dallas backfield? We all know Miles Sanders is not. The guy couldn't even outrun a linebacker last week. I think Javonte Williams just got lucky with Jalen Carter doing the hot Tua on Dak Prescott. Like, at some point, we saw it last year with Bucky Irving. At some point, talent will outweigh experience. So, I'm done preaching there. Yeah, I got 2 right, 2 wrong that I kind of came up with. I was going to talk about my surprise, who I thought was a surprise this last week, but I think we already kind of talked about it. BJ. Golly, that's crazy. BJ. BJ's beating me. He's beating the champ. For now. All right. On to power rankings. Now, last week, my power rankings, I was kind of looking at the full year. These are going to drastically change over time. And I think a big part of that is rookies and injuries. Obviously, one injury could... Paul, if you have CMC get injured, you're done. You're done. Injuries will drastically change this. I really believe, like, we've got Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen had an amazing week 1. Now, at the end of the year, I guarantee Keenan Allen won't be top 20 wide receiver. He's got the brain. He's got the experience. But the guy is old. At some point, these old guys, their bodies just can't take it. Like, I don't feel like I'm that old, but shit, I can barely run without my knee feel like it's gonna fall off. I can barely go on the bike before my ass feels like it's like gonna fall off. Like, these old guys cannot last 17 weeks of full board, all out, balls out consistency. And that's where the rookies kind of come in. That's where in the draft. Champion tip 101. Don't overdraft veterans. At the same time, don't overdraft rookies. Like, you have to have a good balance. You can't go all hope. You can't go all experience, all vets. I mean, you can, but you need those guys at the end of the year. Like last year, Bucky Irving was a perfect example for me. Bucky Irving was a guy that came in. He's kind of undersized. He got drafted on a team that they already have an established running back one, but his talent outweighed the experience of Rachaad White. And someone that I just picked up off the waivers, someone that you can pick up in the later rounds, the talent will eventually outweigh the experience. And then these guys become league winners. Pro tip. Champion tip 101. I'll try to throw some... That's an idea. I try to think of like different ideas on these podcasts. Maybe as champion, I'll give you guys some tips. All right. Okay, power rankings. I'm going to just fly through them, and then I'll go through some reasoning. I'll go from 10. 10, Jason. Down 1. Number 9, Nate. 8, Eddie. 7, BJ, jumping up 3 spots. 6, Austin. 5, myself. 4, Dre the Bully. 3, Eric. 2, Whitney. Oh, no. I'm sorry. See, I told you, Paul. I had you at 1. 3, Paul. 2, Eric. 1, Whitney. Paul, I told you. I would have you. If you had a second, even though I'm not a believer, like, I don't think Christian McCaffrey's not going to get 31 touches every single week. It ain't happening. And his body's not going to be able to sustain that. But as long as he's healthy, in my opinion, you're going to be higher on my power rankings. The only reason I don't have you at 1 is you don't, like, your running back 2 is Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb. I remember, I think it was Whitney's first year she had Nick Chubb, and I tried prying. And that was forever ago. This guy's old. This guy's knees have fallen off. Both of them, literally. So, I can't put you at 1. But that wide receiver depth in that 1-2 punch of CeeDee Lamb, Christian McCaffrey, and I was wrong on Zay Flowers last week. Now, I don't think it's going to be a consistent thing, but Zay Flowers showed he's the guy, and he got the volume. So that's a pretty cold lineup. I think they got Loveland. They kind of disrespecting his number here. 3.78. Ooh. Tight ends don't usually make or break. I don't find. Like, they can win you a week, but I don't find they don't really lose you a week. Like, you just need 5 points. Okay. All right, going back here. Going through. We'll start at 10. Jason. You know, I said I wasn't going to go through them all, but I'm going to go through them all. Jason. Again, you don't have a wide receiver 1. Mike Egbuka looks like the 1. Mike Evans, I don't think he's not that guy. He's that vet. He's that vet that's gonna have a couple good games, become week 15 to 17 or 15 to 18. I don't know. Come to the end of the season, he's gonna be tired. He's gonna be worn down. Knees are gonna feel like they've been bitten off. Bijan Robinson had a big play, but other than that, he really didn't do much. And Miami's offense looked like shit. Mark Andrews didn't look very good. And I told Javonte Williams, I think you're chasing points. In my opinion, you're chasing points here. I can't blame you too much because no. Bet right now, Javonte Williams less than 10 points this week. I kind of like the Giants' defensive line, and I don't think Javonte Williams is going to be the guy that's going to get through that defensive line. I think they're going to be forced to throw it, So I'm pretty excited to start Dak Prescott. We'll see. And Cincinnati starts slow. I got to have you at 10. Number 9. Oh, here. Go. Here we go. Number 9, Eddie. Oh, here. I got this banner. So I got to be a little bit better about this. Show. Hey, there we go. Number 9, Mr. Eddie. I think I said it before. I think you're limited with your AJ Brown, Saquon Barkley duo there. AJ Brown did not look the whole wide receiver did not. The problem I think is they won with that formula. They won with the formula not having to use AJ Brown. So I don't think AJ Brown's going to be a consistent guy that you can go to. I do think Devontae Adams was a guy that did better than I expected, but again, he's one of those old guys. I think he's going to be good from week 1 through 6, 7. And then after that, he's going to get tired. He's feeling a little old. I think what saves you is Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen's going to win you weeks, but I think Josh Allen's also going to lose you. I think you're depending on Josh Allen to have those giant weeks, him and Saquon Barkley. Carolina's offense did not look good. I'm a fan of Chuba Hubbard, but unless they can show me that they can do... They didn't do good against Jacksonville's defense. Not a believer. James Conner looks like he's going to get his backfield taken over. And TJ Hawkinson, I don't think... I was happy with what I saw in the fourth quarter. McCarthy, though, I don't think he's as good as Sam Darnold. I don't think he's going to chuck it down the field as much. I think they're going to rely on that run. The running offense to kind of bring their passing offense up to speed. Like, I think that's what they're going to rely on. And so with that, I don't know. I don't look at this team. If I look at this team and I see a couple pieces where I'm like, oof, I'm a little afraid to kind of those guys going against those guys in the lineup. Saquon Barkley, Josh Allen, I think that's your team. And if one of those gets hurt, oh shit, I'm sorry, Eddie. I have you at 8. Number 9 is actually, so it's Jason is 10, Nate at 9, and then Eddie. So going back to 9, Nate. I think I kind of already shit on your team a little bit, and I apologize, but I'm being harsh this year. Bo Nix did not look good. We'll see. I think he's a good quarterback. I do like him, but I don't think he's going to win you a week. Tyreek Hill, that offense looks like it's in shambles. And Tyreek Hill is at the forefront of it. The guy is just... he's too much. I think he's toxic. I think he's like a Stephon Diggs in the locker room. He's good when you're in the honeymoon stage, but once that honeymoon stage is up, Calvin Ridley, until I see that rookie Cam Ward able to sling it, which he does sling it a little too much. The guy's always throwing fastballs. The guy's throwing like 100 miles an hour with a freaking pigskin. Crazy. Of course he can't catch it. No one's going to be able to catch that. I do like Gibbs. I do like Jonathan Taylor. I don't like that offense. I hate Daniel Jones. I'm biased, but I don't like Daniel Jones. With Kittle out, that really hurts. And then a rookie wide receiver on a bad offense. If you look at this team, in your skilled positions, bad offense, good offense, bad offense in my opinion, bad offense, okay offense. The offense depends on this one. Like, there is one player that's on a good offense here. I don't know. It worries me. Okay, going back, then Eddie was next. Now BJ, the genius, tapeworm. I like that. That's funny. Justin Herbert, I think, is the real deal. And Harbaugh he's a good coach. He's just a good coach. I hate saying that because he used to be 49ers, and he's just a whiny, cry baby, big titty bitch baby that just cries on the sideline when things don't go his way. But he's a good head coach. He's a good head coach. I just hated him at the Niners, on the 40. I hated him on the 49ers. The guy just cried all the time. Anyway, I think Justin Herbert's the real deal, and he's got a good head coach. Chris Olave, volume beast. Hollywood Brown, that's a good offense, and there's no one else to throw it to. He's the only one. Josh Jacobs, really good offense. They're gonna be running the ball. Charbonnet looks like the guy. Tucker Kraft, obviously crazy good, and I think Brock Bowers is gonna be back. So like, there's not too much of a weakness here. I think Deebo Samuel, the guy, he's championship tip 101. Be careful with guys that are running backs who turn 28. 28 is that cliff. That's that cliff where it just, they just fall off. They just fall off. And you see it like Chris McCaffrey's 29. I don't think he looks as explosive. Let's see here. Eckler, he's older. He's the only exception is Derrick Henry. Like the wheels are gonna fall off at some point. We just don't know when. The guy's a freaking absolute beast. But other than that, other than Derrick Henry, the wheels fall off for most, like I would say 90% of running backs at the age of 28. And where was I going with this? Oh yeah, so Deebo Samuel, wide receiver, but he's also played a lot of running back when he was at the Niners. That's a lot of beatings when you're running back. I think that's why the age is at like 28 is when they kind of just go downhill. It's because it's a big beating on their body. So I think Terry McLaurin's going to be better. He also skipped most of training camp, so I think he's going to get better over time. So that's why I did the jump. But at the same time, I also can't look at this team and be like, this is a scary look. There's a bunch of alphas. There's not a bunch of alphas. I think when Rashee Rice gets back, when Brock Bowers is like fully healthy, this is a scary team. Scary-ish. But it's a team that you have to respect, I would say. Not a scary team, but you have to respect the team. So I jumped you up, but I try not to overreact too much. Number 6, Austin. Austin's already hitting... He's already got some injuries. He's got who was it? Oh, Drake London. Drake London had an injury. I think he left the game. It was really late, but he left the game last Sunday. Travis Kelce's old as shit. I'm not a fan of Swift, and that offense does not look good. It's only week 1, so again, let's not overreact too much. I think this can be a scary team, but I think it's gonna have a little bit of a slower start. Ken Walker, I think you whiffed on that. It's too early still to tell. I think Ken Walker has it. We've seen it. But after week 1, I don't know. Ricky Pearsall looks like he's got it. He's a dog. The guy got shot. And he's come back just like Brian Robinson. Brian Robinson on his rookie, Brian Robinson Jr., the guy that plays for the Niners. I think Nate has him. His rookie year, got shot in the leg and still came back. And then his first game back out, he ran out to who I think it's Ice Cube sings it. Many men, many men. I think they should do that with Ricky Pearsall. He's the hardest white dude out there. Dog. Anyway, I think this is a scary team if you can find a second running back. And if Travis Kelce got... Oh, it was so frustrating. He got a touchdown on a fluky play. On a fluky play where the cornerback or the linebacker just didn't follow him. I think he only got targeted here. Let's take a look here. He only had 4 targets after he took out Worthy. Like, that's not very many targets. I don't think Travis Kelce is still the dude that he once was. We'll see. We'll see what this week looks like. I think this can be a good team, but with Chase being a slow start, Hunter kind of possibly. The Jags are just... Trevor Lawrence is not the guy. He's not the guy. They paid him like the guy, but he's not the guy, which is interesting. And then Penix. I'm not very convinced at Penix. I think Drake London can't. I think if Cousins, honestly, if Cousins comes back in, Penix gets injured, Cousins comes back in, Drake London, I think, shoots up. I think he's just the better quarterback, to be honest, but I think they're just playing for the future. And then next up, me. I won't go over this too much. I thought I switched my name. Oh, I gotta change my name. I don't even have neighbors. Nico Collins had a rough week, but he's still the alpha. Travion Henderson, they said that he's going to get some more volume. ETN, they trade away Tank Bigsby, so I don't see Tootin, that one rookie, taking over anytime soon. I've got the number one tight end. Brock Bowers is injured, and Kittle's injured. I got the number. I've got a positional advantage on every single one of you scumbags. And the Jets look good. I mean, it was 1 week, so we'll see. But Garrett Wilson, he almost got murdered. Freaking Fields almost murdered him with that hospital ball at the very end. Ugh. But he looks like the guy. And I'm pretty excited about, easy there, Judkins. He will be playing. I've got to drop him. Here, I'll drop him right now. Drop. And yeah, I think this is a good team. Only thing I worry about is, again, Jeddah but I think he's got a high floor. He's got a high floor, and that's what I want with my number one wide receiver. I think Nico Collins, they just need to get it going again. I don't know if you guys saw CJ Stroud's playing basketball for his warm-up. The guy needs to focus up. If I'm his coach, I'm like, bro, like, wrong sport. Pigskin. Get a pigskin in this guy's hand and have him sling it in pregame warm-ups. Not playing bad. Like, the guy's doing, like, crossovers on the frickin' turf. Ugh, that's so annoying. CJ Stroud, he kind of annoys me. Him and his podcast. Idiot. Next up, Dre the Bully. I mean, I am going to hit an hour. Son of a gun. Dre the Bully. I do really like the upside of this team. Oh, Tootin's already taken. Oof. Sorry, Paul. I'm not crazy about these wide receivers. Jaden Daniels, dog. Omarion Hampton, I think, I'm not even going to call him a dog yet. Derrick Henry, dog. Tyler Warren, dog. Bucky Irving, dog. Oh, man, these are dogs. But the one thing I worry about with the Chargers is you got Quentin Johnson and so I get distracted because I'm like, oh, you guys are going to judge me for my pink pen. You've got Tyler, I don't even remember what I was saying. Oh, Chargers. You've got Quentin Johnston, and you've got Keenan Allen. I think they're going to eat into Lad McConkey for the first 4 or 5 weeks. I think eventually, though, again, talent will outweigh experience. Keenan Allen will get tired. He's going to have some problems. He's going to have injury, old person problems. There's a reason he didn't want to play, or he didn't want to sign. He didn't sign until the very last minute, till he had to. And that's so he doesn't have to go through training camp. So his body doesn't have to go through all the crap, because he knows he doesn't have that dog in him anymore. Cortland Sutton, I do really like Cortland. He's a dog. He's a dog. We'll see if Bo Nix can turn it around on week 2. Maybe he's going to go through a sophomore slump. CJ Stroud did, so maybe Bo Nix will. I mean, that's the thing. Is like they can't all hit. Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, Michael Penix. JJ McCarthy. Statistically, one of those guys is going to flop. Like, at least one of those guys. It should be at least two. Like, they can't all hit, right? I don't know. We'll see. Okay. Dre the Bully was 4. 3, Eric. I think Eric kind of had a slow start to the year in week 1. But again, I look at this team. Ashton Dempsey didn't look as good as I was hoping. I've got him in a couple other leagues. But he's got the volume. Guy was on like over 80% of the snaps. He's going to be out there all the time. DK Metcalf, he's obviously the guy. He's the alpha. And Neighbors, dog. Straight up dog. Oh, I love Middle League Neighbors. Won me a championship. Lamar Jackson, he's a QB1 through and through. Chase Brown, really good. Kyle Pitts, he got actually pretty good volume. And Keon Coleman went off. We'll see if that stays consistent. But if not, you've got options. JK, nope, just kidding. I'm not a fan of him. I think RJ Harvey will take over. Alvin Kamara, volume guy. I think he's gonna be good. Or he's one of those old guys who's gonna stay good. But 11 targets, that's crazy. We'll just have to see if Keon Coleman can keep that up. 8 targets. Like to see that in your tight end be consistent. Like, there's just, I don't see any weak points in this. But it's just not as good in my opinion. Oh, I did it again. I'm sorry. Eric is 2. Paul was 3. I already went over Paul, so I'm not going to go over it again. Paul was 3. Again. Paul, go put those guys that are out IR. Go pick up a couple RBs. Just flyer RBs. And number 1, Whitney. I talked about it last week. Talk about it again. Jesus, that's a good team. Debo, I could be wrong. He's not that old, is he? I'm not going to give me the age. Not on here. He looks like the one. He honestly looks like the one. And with Eckler going out, he might get some more work in the running back role. So that's more volume. There's some depth here. I think Odunze will eventually outproduce DJ Moore. Oof. I legit think it might be a little bit rough week again for Amon-Ra St. Brown. Don't panic. Puka Nacua, the guy, I swear, always gets injured. He like gushing blood, slows a patch on, and he freaking goes back out there and gets crazy volume. How many recording? 11. Oof. That's crazy. Maybe I was wrong. Okay, no, I was not wrong. I still think CD would have been the better pick. Maybe CD, Puka Nacua. That would look really scary. But there's no weak points. There's no weak points. The only thing that I would say that slow this team down is our injuries. And there has to be multiple. Like, there's depth. If one of our running backs goes out, like Jordan Mason, I think he's a sleeper. I already talked about Jalen Warren is the guy. Not a big fan of long-term on Tyron Tracy. I think he'll be good first 5 weeks. I think he'll be decent. Rome Odunze, if one of your... you've got 4 really solid wide receivers, 4 really solid running backs. And then your QB just vultures all of the touchdowns, whether it's passing or rushing or both. Like, he's the only one passing, obviously, but he vultures all the rushing touchdowns, is what I was trying to say. Yeah, I don't see a weakness. And if I'm playing this person, if I'm playing Whitney, I'm looking at every single player, and I'm just like, dang, that I'm nervous. So this is the scariest looking 0-1 team I think I've ever seen. So those are my power rankings. I've got one last thing. Upset of the week. Oh, my predictions. I'm sorry. Week 2. Predictions. All right. Obviously, I'm going to say myself. I expect myself to win every single week as a champion, former champion, the latest champion. No, but for real. Yeah, I think I've got a good chance. I think it's a toss-up, honestly. I'm excited to see how it goes. I'm excited to watch. Excited for football again tomorrow. I'm gonna say BJ. I think BJ got a good, strong start. I think Chase has another slow week. Not a fan of Swift. Not a fan of Kelsey. And Drake London, I think, is going to be playing injured against a good defense in Minnesota. Yeah, I think BJ pulls the upset. I think BJ's 2-0. I think I talked about it already. I'm not going to beat a dead horse. Paul, I would say, even though he had a rough start, I'm going to say Paul. I'm going to say his 1 and 2 come out and just swing. He's got them dogs. Paul, 2-0, I think remains first in points overall after week 2. And then Whitney. I think Whitney pulls out the win. I think their team's just scary. And I don't think there's anything you can do about it, Eddie. Just sit and pray. Sit and pray. And then upset of the week, I've got Nate pulling it out of his ass against Dre the Bully. I think Miami goes out and they're trying to make a statement. I think Calvin Ridley is getting used to these fastballs that Cam Ward takes. I think this is a bold prediction here. If I'm being honest, if I'm a betting man, if I'm playing it safe, I'm putting actual money. I say Dre, but I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I think Detroit also tries to make a statement. I think Nate had a really rough week last week, and I think his team is out to make a statement. His players, the dogs, are out to make a statement. Week 2, Nate with the upset. All right, I'm gonna keep it under. I don't know how I write these things down. I'm like, oh man, this is gonna take like 20 minutes, and then I sit here and I ramble on for an hour. Okay, well, good luck to everybody. Thanks for watching. Good luck to everybody this week. Besides Eric, Mr. Oh, that photo is hilarious. All right, thanks for watching, guys.